right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Expert Insights, the 4 R's of resilience, a practical hour to reset and recharge. My name is Eric Dormo, and I will be your host for today. This webinar is brought to you all by the Institute for Professional Development at Metro State University. Here at IPD, we delivered customized professional development for employers and individuals in business architecture, public sector supervision, DEI, and other leadership topics. As a reminder, today's webinar will be recorded and available on our website in the next coming weeks. So in addition to customized training, just wanted to list some of the additional offerings that we have here at IPD. Please reach out if you have any additional inquiries following today's webinar. All right, so we'll get to the main event for today. 4 R's of resilience: recognize, reframe, respond, and recover. Just to introduce the topic, we all know that the work world is always changing, and that brings a lot of stress and uncertainty at times. But today we're going to dive into some resiliency strategies that can help you all handle stress and even thrive when there's so much change going on. So we're going to get ready to pick up some practical tools that can help a boost in your workplace. So we'll go into this together and figure out how we turn challenges into chances. So before we begin, just want to share a little bit about myself. Again, I'm currently the DEI program specialist at Metro State University's Institute for Professional Development, originally from the Twin Cities, and have lived here my entire life. My background is in higher education, where I gained experience in advising, career development, mentorship, and leadership training. In my current role, I provided workshops on topics such as cultural humility, building credibility in the workplace, multi-generational workplaces, and so on. So we'll definitely have a lens of this background as we go into today's topic. So this is a quick overview of what we'll be going into today. You can think of today's webinar as a guided reset. You'll leave with strategies that you can apply today and not next month. Again, this session is interactive, but no pressure to share. But we'll be using the chat, so please feel free to use the chat as there'll be prompts for you all to complete, um, or if you want to jot down notes, whichever works best for you. So again, this is the flow of today, and please feel free if you want to engage in the chat to do so. I'll do my best to monitor any new inquiries. But yeah, with that, we'll kind of dive into the main topic for today. So why this topic matters now, when we think about resilience, it can often be misunderstood. But it's not just about grit, it's about knowing when and how to rest, respond, and reset. When we think about burnout, I wouldn't look at it as a personal failure, but it's often a sign that something's out of alignment. So just for some initial engagement for today, in one word, how are you all feeling as you join today's session? Feel free to put in the chat just a quick word on how you all feeling today. Stressed, great, busy, overwhelmed. Yeah, tired. Ooh, firefighting. Mm. Yeah, no, we're all navigating a lot of different things today. Hopefully these strategies can assist as we go through them all. So, and also just to guide today's session, I would love for you all to think of a personal example in terms of at work just a current or former situation that has caused you stress. I know for myself, one example I've had is, getting, in the past, getting behind on a project deadline and feeling overwhelmed by competing priorities, not knowing which, what to address first. Um, and I'm sure everyone has maybe managed this. Um, but yeah, think of, again, just take some time to think of that one current or former situation that's caused you stress or that's causing you stress currently. And just keep this in mind, and we'll use this practically as we go through some of these tools. So I'll give you some think time there, but just have that in your back pocket. So let's go into the strategy that we'll use for today. So the four R's of resilience. So I'll just do a quick overview and we'll go in a little bit more in depth. So the first piece is recognizing your response to stress. And then that goes into reframing your thinking. And from there, responding with intentional action and recovering with rest or reflection. Essentially, the four R's really help you create a pause between stimulus and reaction. It's a chance to act in ways that protect your energy and your values. So let's start off with recognize. So resilience, it starts with awareness. You can't manage what you don't see. I mean, most of us, we miss that early warning signs that we're in crisis at times. So let's name what stress or burnout looks for you personally. Again, this is your first signal that you may need a pause or a pivot. So just for more engagement in the chat, what's one sign that tells you that you're stressed? I'll share my personal example. When I've been stressed, I can tell that I felt withdrawn from my work or avoiding the task at hand. So I know at times when I'm feeling withdrawn, I'm like, okay, that is a sign that I'm stressed. Avoidance. Yeah. Short with people. I'm cranky, not sleeping. Yeah, that can be a big one. That stress keeping us awake. Hyper. Awesome. If there's more responses, I'll keep note of that. So again, once we recognize stress, the next step is really about changing the story that we're telling ourselves about it. And that goes into reframing. So when we think about reframing, I wouldn't say that it's not toxic positivity, but it's giving your brain a more helpful narrative so you're not stuck in fight or flight mode. A good way to think about it is how can I think with myself instead of against myself? So as you see on the example, instead of saying, "Oh, this will never get better," you might say, "This is hard, but I've gotten through hard things before." It's really by asking yourself what you can control and what's another way to see this. So just to make it practical, I would love for us to again use that stressor that you identified earlier and think about what's one unhelpful thought that you've had about it. Then let's reframe it into a more empowering statement. So for example, for myself, I've told myself, "Oh, I'll never get all this done." But if I were to reframe that, I might say, this is hard, but I'll just take one step at a time. So if you can take some time, just think about that stressor, think about the unhelpful thought, and then let's practice trying to reframe that into a more empowering statement. So I'll just give some think time. You can jot it down, take some time to think about it. And then from there, I'll say if you're open, let's share that in the chat. And if there's any questions, feel free. I can see the chat here. But again, take some time to think about that, think about the stressor, the unhelpful thought, and how you would reframe that. Yeah, and this would be a past example as well. Yeah, Carla, I can get through this. The plan to reframe it as it will be such a relief once I sit down and get this done. Yeah, listen, I feel overwhelmed, but I know I can focus on one thing, complete it, and move on to the next to get it all done. Awesome. If you're still thinking of your thoughts, feel free to, again, write that in the chat or jot it down if you're taking notes on today. I'll make sure to check on the chat. Awesome. So again, once we reframe the situation, now we're ready to choose how we respond. Oh, I saw another one. Oh yeah, Brian, just face the fact that I need to do it and get it done, take accountability. Yeah. Awesome. Now we'll go into responding. So when I think about responding, I say it would be different from reacting. Stress really pushes us into automatic mode, while resilience gives us back choice. When you're overwhelmed, the small responses matter. So you don't need to solve everything, but it's just about, again, creating that one next step. Even taking a breath before replying to an email is a resilience skill. For my personal example, I respond by asking myself, okay, what's one action I can take today that would move this forward just a little? Again, maybe it's clarifying priorities or asking for help with one task. I know that's helped me, in times where I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, just trying to make sure that, okay, there's all these things to get done. What's the most pressing thing that I can focus on at this point? And again, just asking for help where it's needed. And that's something that has been hard for me in the past because I'm just someone that will do things on my own. But again, asking for help is definitely, one way to help in that response. So again, just thinking about tools that you can respond to your situation. And some of their tools are maybe in the moment. For example, maybe that 90-second or the 90-second rule before, where you pause before reacting, or even setting some micro boundaries. So for example, just say you're in maybe it's a heated discussion, just mentioning, hey, I just need 10 minutes um, to gather my thoughts. Again, these can be used in the moment or with the email or just over time. So, and then for you all, I'm wondering what's one boundary or micro action that you've used in the past or that you might want to use in the future. So again, you can utilize that chat feature just if you used a micro boundary or just how you've effectively responded in a former situation. Maybe something similar to these tools or something that's not mentioned. Got some responses coming in. I break it down into small steps, take breaks, and get fresh air. Yeah, gotta enjoy this fresh air as we're trying to enjoy the last bit of fall. Don't need to respond immediately. Let me get the facts. Yeah, talk to my team. Go on a quick walk. Get out of my chair and move around. Awesome. Yeah, these are good. These are good, action items and just ways to respond. I think knowing that we can take time and take a pause is super important. So as we navigate, again, responding can help us in the moment. But I'll say resilience also requires recharging. And that's where recovery comes in. So when we think about recovery, it doesn't always mean a 2 week vacation, even though that can sound pretty nice. But what it does mean is just integrating small acts of restoration into your day. Again, thinking about one thing to refill your tank, whether that's a 5 minute walk, playing your favorite playlist, laughing or connecting. I know for myself, one thing that I do to recover is I might take time and watch a funny video that I found online, or just taking some time to rest and journal how I navigated the situation and how I can better handle a situation. So again, recovery can look a lot of different ways, but it is important and after you go through those first 3 hours, really taking that time to rest or reflect on that situation. So I'm wondering for you all in the chat, what's one thing that fills your tank, or one strategy that you all use when things are a little bit tough or you're just trying to recover. Would love to see some more ideas in the chat, and they might be similar to these recovery ideas, but yeah, would love to see um, get some insight on what you all do to recover. Just put that in the chat too. So you stretch, walk, spend time with pets. Yeah, 6 mile run, bike ride, organized closet, yeah, deep breathing, pets. Michelle says reading, fine, listen to music and sleep. Yeah. Yeah, depends on the situation. Alyssa, I like the range. And mindful breathing. So appreciate all the insights there. Again, I think it's important again for this recovery phase just to really kind of button things up when you think about navigating a tough situation or scenario. So definitely keep these in mind as effective strategies that you're already doing, or if you're taking notes on what anyone else tries, and that'll be very helpful as you go through this process of the 4 hours. So again, just to kind of create your own toolkit. We think about applying the 4 Rs. I'd love for y'all to choose just one practice from each of the 4 Rs that you may try this week or at some point um, during this season, right? Thinking about again how you plan to recognize what you're recognizing about your thoughts or feelings. What's that stress indicator? Thinking about ways you want to reframe. I'm thinking about that action that you can take that aligns with your values, and then fully recovering. So again, just kind of that application piece or that reflection piece. Um, I would love for you all just to highlight something that maybe something new that you want to try, or something that you want to continue to do or continue to try, throughout this week. So again, choose one practice from each of the 4 Rs, and then we'll see what everyone gathered from some of the new learnings today or some of the reflection. For myself, definitely, I don't know if I'll run the 6 miles, but I think definitely exercise is something that I want to try to recover with when things are going tough. Yeah, reframing. Yeah, or you can think about that current stressor that we talked about earlier today, and just how you would want to apply these to that as well, recognizing the signs in self and others. Saying that's a great point, especially for those of you that may be managing a team. I think being able to help your team members or your colleagues in terms of introducing this can also help with that resiliency. Again, when we think about just that feeling of burnout that can occur, or just even with again, if you're managing a team or if you're working within a team, I think definitely having this understanding to help out those team members is also a good sign as well. Well, thank you, Christine. So give it a little bit more think time. Again, just even if not, we're thinking about just a key takeaway as well that you might want to try or use. I know we still waiting on a few. If you feel open to share, I'd just love to see one practice that you want to continue to use or that you want to try out this week. When think about those 4 Rs. Try to reframe situation by asking what I can control, reframing. Yeah, the reframe can be very powerful when you think about, because it can be easy to have an unhelpful thought about, as you reframe a situation. So I definitely, reframing just helps to just put that productive and positive spin on things. So I can definitely, yeah, appreciate that being a key one or a key takeaway there. Well, I'll give some time to let some more responses come in just as we go into some final key takeaways. Again, we're thinking about burnout, right? It can be a signal and not a weakness. Again, you're really just recognizing how your body's responding and just taking that time to really be able to overcome that burnout feeling. And even when we think about resilience, again, it could be a choice, right? It's not necessarily that willpower. Um, and you already have a lot of you all have the tools and you're able to recognize things that you do or just different scenarios that you've been in that can really help you to organize how you process and stay resilient. And again, it's just starting where you are, right? So you don't have to overhaul your life to be more resilient. But often it's about slowing down, noticing what's going on inside, and making small intentional choices that protect your well-being. So again, just some things to think about as you're trying to stay resilient when whether it's change or different things that might be going on in your workspaces. So I just something to think about. O'Brien, I just saw yours. Be more conscious of how I respond as more of a positive thought process. Thank you. So again, just to add in, I just want to take some time to highlight just some of our offerings that we have at IPD. I will also share our website. We have opportunities for different trainings, as I mentioned prior, when thinking about just different diversity, equity, and inclusion offerings. So I'll be sure to share that out with you all as well. Overall, I just wanted to again say thank you all for taking this time being a part of this conversation. Again, this webinar will be available on our website in the next few weeks. So please take the time to, and again, stay resilient, stay connected. Again, if you are interested in any follow-up conversation, I have my email and work phone listed. But again, hopefully these 4 hours can be something you all can apply. And if this is, whether this is reflection or review or something new, just appreciate you all's time and hope you all got something out of it today.